Yep, 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 yep. It's yep, it's right. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What's going on, y'all? It's time to go ahead and talk blurred stuff in the blurred bubble. You know what it is. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Let's go ahead and get it in. I am here, your boy, the real Vince Taylor, live with the blurred family to discuss a whole bunch that's going on in the world. So don't go nowhere. Keep it locked. Hit that like, hit that comment, hit that share button, and let's go ahead and get into what's popping right now, which is obviously one Nick Fury, Slick Fury, is back in the nerd sphere, y'all. He back on Earth, y'all. Was y'all ready for it? I don't even know. It don't look like y'all was. Hello, we got the man in the building, full eye on display. One black and one blue, and we know how they do. So let's go ahead and discuss. In addition to this, there's a bunch of other things going on. Not only is the Secret Invasion out officially on Disney Plus, but there's something else popping that I want y'all to take a look at. It's oops, my bad. I can't check that out no more. One Piece has got a live action, something that's dropping here on Netflix pretty soon. Let's talk about that. Kraven the Hunter is giving us the movie that nobody asked for. Hallelujah. Sony, won't they do it? Yes, indeedy. Oh, yes. Also, Star Trek had an episode, and I know y'all ain't trekkers. I know this, but I'm gonna get y'all high today because it's Saturday. We ain't got no job, and we ain't got shit to do. And plus, the homie Yatide delivered what I consider an Emmy award-winning performance on this episode. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Let's also talk about the fact that I'm a Virgo. This show right here, Nick. Like, I think y'all sleeping on this if you ain't watching it already. Here's another thing that's in the news. Sarah Connors, yes, your girl, is going to be in Stranger Things 5. The one where the little kids go to the old folks home. I don't know. I feel like they growing up a little bit too fast, but hey, we'll see how it goes. There's also new additions to the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. And obviously, we want to check out the Star Wars game that is set to be released here pretty soon. So let's get ready to talk about that, as well as this new X-Men gossip. It's so catty, it's so tea, it's so messy, and I'm here for it. And the homie Omar and Tiffy Starchild gonna help us go ahead and break this down. Let's go ahead and get everything cranking, y'all. It is the new Blurred Order, baby.
I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old gang. Ain't shit changed except nine got a name. Got it out the mud but we got no stains. Cold ass lizard with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga stay clean so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like
Yes, sir. It's time to go ahead and unwind. Let's get into these things if we can, if you don't mind. I am here, your boy, the real Vince Taylor, reporting live from the Spider-Man cave, or as some will call it now, hey, my own little Marvel studio. What's up there, She-Hulk? Hey, who is this bitch? And I'm joined by none other than the homie Omar, author of the Black Nerd Comic. You know what other book? We've got Yaz in the house. Yep, saving lives. Yep. We got Tiffy Starchild in the building. West Coast Murfurger. We've got the bad tie in the it's looking very cheerful this morning, my man. And we've got none other than the graduates, Nolly. Guess
With
who's
distinction, my right here.
Okay, all right. So, which did you graduate from? Was it House of Slytherin or Gryffindor or which one?
House of Hard Knocks, okay.
Nah, that's a big deal, man. All right, I just want to stop for a second, pause, and just give the homie Nolly her flowers. This one right here has been not only attending school, but she been juggling family members, juggling jobs, at the same time assisting us with what we do, at the same time pulling up on the con, still managing to feed the kids every day. Like, who feed their kids every day? You know what I'm saying? And managing a relationship, moving, all kind of stuff, and then pop off with the magna cum laude in that. Come on out now. What? So how's it feel?
I didn't think I would get here. I was never good at school, right? And then when I was like 31, I was diagnosed autistic and ADHD. So I was able to get like the help that I needed. And so school, once I got accommodations, I realized, bitch, you are smart. You needed some direction. And so here I am, graduate, about to start my master's in August.
Woo! Yo, you gonna hog up all the education. All right, go.
Period.
Yo, Yaz, I think that Nolly's gonna end up looking like MODOK, like her brain's gonna get so big. You know what I'm saying?
I already got a big ass head, so like it's,
I didn't mean it like that, man. Don't pull me on like that. All
look,
right.
between brains and ego,
Mm,
the 5 head is barely containing it.
Yo, it's at least 4.5, man. I wouldn't give it all to you. We gonna do you like that. But yes, that was dope. Well, in addition to Nolly breaking news with obviously the big feat of because that's not easy. I mean, like I said, like it's not like Nolly's, just fresh out of high school. Like she's juggling the family as well and with the job. So it's not easy to to put your kids to sleep and want to do nothing but smoke and go to sleep, but had to sit and pick up a book and sacrifice that time.
So there were many nights where I did partake, and I was like, shit, I got homework to do. It's due at midnight.
Yeah, them deadlines don't play, man.
I wrote some crazy essays during those times.
What was your major in again? What
in business, and I also did at the same time an HR management certification.
Oh, okay. So business. So you have some business experience. So maybe you can help us understand then what in the hell these folks had any business going down to the bottom of the ocean. Why are we still making trips to see the Titanic as if we didn't all see the 3.5 hour Leonardo DiCaprio special? What's going on? What's the fascination?
I'm just, what rich people buy a lot of is audacity.
Ooh.
Because how do you think that you are better than Mother Nature?
That part.
In a tube. With a small, you paid $250,000 to see the Titanic from like a 7-inch window. You could pop it up on a 65-inch screen and watch Leo and Kate do their thing. I don't understand.
Literally.
Actually, I hear something funny.
Please.
Remember when I told you guys I went to Gatlinburg for my 30th birthday?
Yes.
Okay, so in Gatlinburg, they actually have like a museum type thing of it's a self-guided tour, and you get to walk through like a ship that looks just like the Titanic. It's literally looks just like the Titanic. You get to go on there and you get to be a passenger from back in the day. They give you a little ticket that tells you all about these people's lives, and then at the end you get to find out if they made it to the end of their journey, right?
Okay.
So and you get to find out, all about who designed the ship and how everything worked. It was a 19-year-old kid that designed that ship.
Oh my God.
19 years old. Just imagine that.
Well, that explains why
when I found that out, I was like, y'all let I mean, he was smart, but a 19-year-old kid designed that ship, and only 1,800 people made it back out, and 2,700 embarked on the journey. So just listen to what I said. Rich people, poor people, it didn't matter. Mother Nature took their lives. And when you go on that experience, there's actually a little simulator you get to do. And you get to be in one of those ships. And you get to look at the ship at the bottom of the ocean inside safely in the museum.
See? And how much that cost?
I think it was like $30 or $40 a person or something like that. My whole family went. There was 8 of us that went. Only 4 people made it alive. I was one of the survivors, of course, but it was a journey, and we got to experience it. And they even have a whole part where you get to how the ship broke off in certain pieces. You know what I'm saying? People, you see them falling off in the movie and stuff like that. They even have a whole experience where you get to climb up the way that people were it's cool. There's 3 different ones. You have to check it out. I'm not gonna lie, one of the coolest experiences ever. But I'm just saying, I feel like that experience, because when you go in there at the end of it, there's a 90, I don't know how old this man was. He was like 90 something years old, and he sits in a captain's chair and he tells you all about his journey in one of those submarines down to see the ship. So just imagine how many people he's encouraging that go on this museum.
Oh, wow.
And these rich people that go in this self-guided tour that this old man is encouraging, hey, you can spend this much money and you can go down in the ship as well.
Oh, you know he get a cut. You know,
Literally.
like you go out of town and you get on one of them
He
taxis.
shows you
and
pictures.
We're going to take you to the watch shop, and man, I can't tell you how many button downs I got from some backwoods side shop because I volunteered to get on a rickshaw with some dude after I got off the airport. That's just the way it works. You know what I'm saying? So I hope he gets his cut. But it's fucked up though. Like I saw Tiffy, you was about to say something. I feel like these folks, I'd rather them have spent that money on investing in time travel or like space travel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
we don't need
use.
white people to have access to that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Can we get an entryway to the multiverse before you start going to see old relics from 1912? Tiffy, how you feel?
One, if I paid $30-something and my little card says I die at the end, I'm getting a fucking refund. I don't give a fuck. Run my money back then. Fuck everybody here. First of all, and that whole situation is crazy. And I saw something that really put it in a great perspective for me.
The coffees.
The coffee?
I thought I'll say it after you. I thought you were gonna say the TikTok explaining the 250.
Oh no! I don't know that. But just how very like ironic it is that the people mostly left behind on the Titanic when it was sinking were like people of color and poor people, and then you have like rich people all these years later paying all this money to go down to see them. Like it's so sad. Like these successful missions, like you're visiting grave sites, and that's very strange. And now you're part of the attraction, like. It's wrapping my mind around like I don't feel bad for them. It's sad, so I feel sad for the people in their lives. They're gonna miss them, and that 19-year-old kid didn't deserve that. He wasn't a little asshole, but that's just a lot. It's so much. I went all the way down the rabbit hole too. I had to find out what happens to a human body when it gets imploded.
Oh, I did that too.
What happens, yo? What happens?
Yeah. They said that the force that the walls collapse in when something like that happens is 1,500 miles per hour. Jesus. And then they did the math, and I think it was 20 divided by, was it 1,200? No, or it was something. I forgot what the math was because I'm not a numbers girl. But basically, the reaction or how quickly an implosion happens is 1 millisecond, and the brain registers things involuntarily like at 25 milliseconds. So they were vaporized immediately because the heat that happens for the implosion, they were immediately vaporized. Like they felt nothing. Boom. Like, you know, it was so much worse. No, I'm not going to say it was so much worse for us here on land. It really wasn't. But they made the situation so much worse in the media by like this countdown. We're imagining them suffocating to death. We're like, okay, so who's fighting who in that sub? Because you know somebody started swinging on somebody else, and you know it's bloody in there. No, none of that happened. They were gone before they even knew what was going on. And now...
I see. The reason I don't feel bad is because I'm almost certain at least 4 out of 5 of them hated on Ariel, and I know they wish they had a Black Mermaid around that time. God damn it! Pull on up, Ariel. He saved the prince.
They thought they was gonna talk shit about a Black Mermaid and then go in the sea and come back.
Come on, the ancestors
be fucking for real.
Remember y'all? You know what I'm saying?
Fucking for real.
And this ain't but 5 of us. Remember when y'all used to throw hundreds of thousands of us off the sea because it was making the boat too slow in the storm? Ooh.
You know what that is? Reparations.
Hey, I'm sorry. I mean, listen, I do feel bad for the little boy. But Ty, you was finna say something?
Yeah, I think if we step back for a second and look at this from the perspective of wealthy people, this actually has nothing to do with the Titanic. It has everything to do with being able to do something that average normal people can't do. And so like anytime, you know, you hear something crazy, like, like this is like the craziest thing I've ever heard, to be locked inside of a tin can with no way of retrieval. Because that was the biggest thing for me, is they knew that if anything ever went wrong down there was no way nobody was coming to get you. It's not like I built a secondary machine to come get the machine that's fucked up. Nobody thought that much, because it gets to the point of arrogance. You got so much arrogance because you're wealthy, and you start to feel as though you're above everybody else. And when you start going higher and higher, well, then maybe at some point you start reaching where the gods live, and you start feeling like you're one of them. Well, that, you know what I mean? Like, this is like, when I heard this and when I saw this, it was just another one of those things, like, of all the things you could waste your money on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to tell nobody how to spend their money. But if you wanted to die, if you wanted to die, it was a way cheaper way to go than $250,000.
That shit.
Yeah, and it's crazy, because this is taken away from a larger issue, which is the boat that just sank that from Greece that was carrying a whole bunch of people that were trying to escape, and they all perished, and there was no help in sight. And you know what I'm saying?
So watched it happen.
They were sent away. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that when you hear something like this, that the U.S. government was they were trying to figure out ways to save these unsavable people, but you didn't think at all to try to save these other individuals that weren't as wealthy. It just goes to show the type of world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how you feel, Omar? When are you planning your trip down to the bottom of the ocean, homeboy?
I was gonna say nothing. I was like, Ty came in with that energy. I never been mad when chickens came home. The roost came home. I've never been mad when the fishes come with the school. There was a TikTok that was explaining, like, all right, we keep saying like $250,000, but like because I think they said there was 1 billionaire or 1 millionaire on there. There's a woman on TikTok that was like, she's like, let me break it down like this. The way we get like a coffee, right? This is like this amount of money. For a billionaire, it's just like it's 1.75 coffees, Starbucks latte or espresso or whatever like that. So that's what it seems like to them. And Ty also brought up a good point, like, oh, it comes down to arrogance, because there's the Ocean Gate dude, the CEO my man was on camera talking his shit. And he said, "Oh, we got this experience for you, and you know, I kind of broke a lot of protocols for this." I'm like, "Yeah." So I mean, you see what happens when you break protocol. I'm just like, "Yeah," but yeah, man. I'm just like, you went down there in a Go-Gurt tube. I don't understand what you thought was going to happen with shit bust, bro. Like, I don't. The ocean just squeezed the tube, bro. I can't. Man. Like, oh, there's someone. And my the sun. There was a son on there. There was a son, 19. And then he was like, no. The one that stayed. There was one that stayed above ground. He's like, oh yeah, my dad, like my dad's down. Oh
yeah, the steps. Yeah.
And my man was like, I told the nephew, he's like, I feel like he want me to go to this Blink-182 concert. I don't know what you want me to. I don't know what you want me to. I feel bad, but I got all the small
things. Yo, he didn't want him to stay together for the kids. Like, what's going on, man? Like, you know, he had to hit that Blink-182, homeboy.
My man was. I'm like, he must have been left out the will, because this dude was like, I gotta hear Adam's song. I'm sorry, but whatever.
I gotta see. Yeah. I fuss with Blink-182. Go ahead, Nolly. Oh, Nolly, you muted, mama. But you was going in.
He was between a Blink-182 concert and retweeting OnlyFans accounts.
Yeah.
And fighting with Cardi B.
I'm like,
this Cardi B about it.
I'm like, something happened there, and I think I'm on his side.
Then you find out that he's known in the concert community for harassing female DJs, and you're like,
"What? You see,
I let y'all know that."
And he fucked up a Canon event. He was supposed to be on the I'm done.
We've all seen Final Destination, so we know how that goes.
No, we have not, but I get the vibe.
Not the canon event. Oh shit!
Fuck up the canon event, man.
Boy, hey, it is what it is. Yeah, but it is 100% true, man. And the irony of the people that died on the Titanic, that was really using the Titanic as a mode of transportation and not some way to show off. You know, there's stories about like the 1 or 2 black people that were on the Titanic that were literally just trying to get from one place to another that ultimately didn't make it. Go ahead, Omar.
That story, the one I forgot. I was going to write a poem about him. I forgot his name, but he was the great grandson of John Jacques Dessalines, who was one of the leaders of the Haitian Revolution, the last one. And it's such a sad story because like, okay, the Titanic was going down. He tells his wife, his wife had a daughter. 2 daughters. So they get it. He puts them on the rescue boat. He gives them all the money in his pocket and all the jewels and everything. He's like, go to let's say it was New York. He's like, you'll get to New York. I'll meet you there. And he's like, knows to himself, like he's lying. He knows he's dying, but he's like, don't worry about me. Like, just take this, go there. He's like, I'll be there on the next one. And he's like, he lied, knowing that like I know what's about to happen. But it's the line. The wife and the children still survived though. But I'm like, damn, like god damn. And they were just on there because they missed the boat to go. He wanted to go back home to take his children back home to Haiti. And so they missed that boat, so they got on that Titanic in order to transfer somewhere. I was like, fuck.
So that should have been the story, James Cameron, and it's not too late, homeboy. What's up, Bad Ty?
Yeah, I just wanted to pose a question to the panel and kind of speculate, like, what do we think might have happened? You know what I'm saying, to the ship, because nobody actually knows what happened. You know, nobody knows what actually caused that ship to malfunction. We don't even know if, what caused it to be destroyed. You know what I mean? We could speculate all day. They know that it's debris. We don't know if it's the debris of the ship, but it's debris. But again, I just posed that question to the panel. What do y'all think happened, man?
I think Namor and the soldiers of Talokan rose up and was like, oh, the surface world is in the area. Y'all, you're just going to go say what's up right quick. Yeah. Just a couple holes right here, you know what I'm saying? I know that didn't even their thing. They do the siren thing, so they but they might have got it from Wakanda. Just hold on now, since you're down here, let's go ahead and start the war on off right now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. Maybe Tiffy should do a villain PR for.
Wait a minute, but I considered that. I heavily considered that, and it was either going to be Denise getting the phone call and being like, "Oh no, I'm not touching this. I can't help you with that PR. You're dead wrong. You're wrong for what you did, and there's nothing that I can do to spin this." Or the Simone character pitching it to Denise, but like I considered that. Yeah. But I don't like doing too many real world things.
Yeah.
People in my comments can't handle the fictional PR. And I'm just like, y'all are killing me with this. But down my rabbit hole of mental spiral looking into this, they were saying that what is a good chance of happening is a lot of the pieces that he used in order to build the submersible were not regulated, weren't great. Apparently, using the controller wasn't such a wild thing. Like sometimes they do have simple controls like that. Like that wasn't the wildest thing. I know we're all like, it's a Logitech controller. That's not even the craziest part. Things like the viewport, that tiny ass window that they were going to have the experience of the lifetime viewing the Titanic through, I guess, that was only cleared to go like a certain depth, like, I don't know, 5,000 feet. I'm just making up a number. But since they were down or the intention was to go down way further than that, that shit could have popped. It could have experienced, because that vessel has taken trips before, and it could have had microscopic kind of stress things in the hole or things like that they would have no idea of, like testing and regulating and see. James Cameron, the director of Titanic, he's like a huge Titanic geek. He's been down to see the Titanic in his submersible like 33 times, but his is a safe one. And so he was giving his take on it. And he was like, oh yeah, that thing was going to fail eventually. Even if it passes a test, even if it passes 10 tests, eventually it was going to fail because it's taking on stress and wear this entire time. And he even said, I wish that I had spoke up. He did, but he was like, I thought there was someone smarter than me that would be like, hey, this is a really bad idea and you should not do this. So because apparently like the Titanic community, like they're a community of people that like to talk about the Titanic and things like that. He's in that community. He said on Monday, he sent an email and he was like, hey, they're dead. He didn't put that, but he reached out to his community and was like, nah, yeah, they're definitely gone. And a big thing for him was apparently there's a tracking unit, the housing unit, and then there's like the ship itself. So and it's housed separately so that if anything happens to the ship, the vessel, if it loses power, whatever, that separate thing, they can still be found, they can still be rescued. It has its own power. It's not going to go out. So when they lost communication with both of those, the only way that could happen is if everything was destroyed. Wow. So that's when he was like, oh yeah, they're gone. So then the question becomes like, why were they reporting things about the banging every 30 minutes, all that? Because then the Navy is saying, oh yeah, we heard an explosion because, we monitor the waters around these parts. We heard something around that time. We didn't want to say, we wouldn't bother y'all with that information. Like it's the whole thing is just very strange. Like this is so
I bet they're on an island evading taxes.
I've also seen that story, that they're people that needed to disappear. I've seen that theory too.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, you go to Bikini Bottom and then you meet SpongeBob and you don't want to come back. Who the fuck knows? All I know is that if I had that kind of money, I would have been on the International Space Station or I'd have been on a Millennium Falcon, but never going that way. What's up, Omar?
That's why I say, anybody wondering where those that pod of killer whales is now? Like, no, we knew shit was going down. We knew what was going to happen. We ain't do nothing. That ain't on us. We saw it right there. Like, you in the wrong hood, Vato, but we gonna let you rock. And then that happened. All right, let's get out of here before they blame us, guys. Let's get out of here.
I like the meme when they're like, they said that the banging was a bunch of orcas and they have pots and pans and they're like, bang, bang, bang. It's really safe down here. Send more millionaires. Bang, bang, bang.
And you know how the internet ain't shit? My Heart Will Go On peaked at number 7 this week.
Oh, wow.
And white people are so mad at black people, and people have to explain, hey,
we don't take nothing serious.
Like, we joke through tragedy, period, but here's also why these people in particular dying is not tugging at our heartstrings. And then they break it down like historically, like Ty mentioned earlier. This is why.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who was going back to Haiti just to have his family live. I mean, that story doesn't get enough play if it wasn't for these Stokes folks today. So hopefully that starts to make more sense. And then, at least if you are going to be a millionaire and you're going to go down in a tank, at least keep a string attached to that bitch. God damn, like I didn't understand why ain't nobody just be like, all right, we got him. We just gonna pull him on up. Like, damn, no string and shit. You know what I'm saying? No holes, no, god damn. Anyway, you know what? We spent way too much time on this, even more than the search party, evidently. But hey, we'll go ahead and keep it moving. We did have a new story. A new show debut this week. And I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but guess who's bizack? And he's furious. The one-eyed bandit himself, Mr. Nick Fury, is back in the spotlight, everybody, and he is here to help us wage war against the Skrulls. At least they waging war against us. I didn't have a chance to ask everybody who watched it. We can spoil or not spoil. In all honesty, man, it wasn't really a whole bunch that went on. It's like one of the first episodes that felt like a filler. Like it felt a little like a filler. There was some very important moments, but it was clearly an introduction into this pathway.
You're being kind.
All right, go ahead, keep it 100.
The shit was very boring. There was you said keep it 100. I mean, the shit was boring. First of all, I really, when I look at it, I felt like I was watching a rerun of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like I really did. I felt like it was like I was like, all right, so you tweak this. All right, cool. But yeah, I just couldn't get into it. I understand it's unfolding a storyline and everything like that, but this episode was boring, man. Like I realized how much Marvel needs to have some superhero action in their movies, in order to keep me in engaged. Because this, as much as I love Samuel L. Jackson, I just couldn't. I couldn't get. I don't know, man. For me, I like this. This was. I would compare this to how I felt when I first saw She-Hulk gliding across the room on the roller jump. Like I was just like, oh, come on, man. I waited. My expectation was that of Loki, so I was like that.
Rate this first episode compared to WandaVision first episode.
That's not fair.
I was gonna say, don't do that.
Let me let you marinate on that.
Why are we putting those two in the same context?
Yeah, I'm just saying, because the reason I say this is because when WandaVision came out, Ty and I are both on record not necessarily singing the praises of WandaVision.
No, we're hating. We got it.
Towards that latter half of that shit, we was like, oh shit, did you see the white vision? And he pulled up, and then we was all into it. So I'm just saying, is this a slow build, or is this just bad content? What's up,
for
Tiffy?
6 episodes, an hour long though?
But also remember, WandaVision, it could be because WandaVision knew that their first episode was kind of slow. And I think that's why they released 2 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they did for WandaVision. They released the first 2 episodes, and then it was 1 episode a week. So is it that this is just another slow? Because I haven't seen Secret Invasion yet. Yeah. So is this one another one of those slow starting, maybe takes a moment to get in the groove?
What you think?
Well, we only have 6 episodes though, Tibbs. That's what the problem is. We don't have time for a slow
I didn't say it was smart of them to do that,
but what did you think? Yes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tiffy.
Oh, I'm sorry. And She-Hulk got me with the okie doke too. I thought, okay, another slow build, and we never. For me, She-Hulk never picked up.
Y'all be mean to She-Hulk, but it's all good.
And I will continue to be mean to She-Hulk.
That's fine. I mean, you defended She-Hulk.
I've never defended She-Hulk.
I'm talking about the.
Homer's like, no, she.
Who was it? No, she didn't villain PR nobody. Okay, my bad. All right, I guess I'm just wishful thinking. Yas, you did see it though, Yas?
Yeah, I saw Secret Invasion, and I mean, I agree with Bad Ty. It was a little bit of a slow build. I mean, I had to look at Austin and be like, "This is Secret Invasion." And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I just, I want to make sure. And normally I don't get up, you know what I'm saying, to go get stuff when I'm watching things. And I got up twice. I had to pause it twice to go get things. Because I was like, I can't wait for this. So, and that, you know me, when I watch things, I'm submerged into it. So that was that was kind of out of the box for me. But I mean, I think it was more because Fury wasn't really in it too much. You know what I'm saying? It was backstory.
Oh, I'm like, what's the point?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think it's hilarious that Yaz's barometer as to whether something is good or not is how many times she goes to the kitchen during the episode.
I think it's a fair measurement.
That's how many cups did I get? It's just,
I mean,
but
drink,
that is true.
Snack, I got the drink, came back, and then I was sitting there. Watched, like a little bit more, and then I was like, yeah, I gotta go get something else. This is.
Well, okay. Well, I'm assuming that Tiffy, Omar, and Nolly, you haven't had a chance to see it, so we're split down the middle. You did see it. Okay, Nolly, any thoughts? What are your thoughts?
It's a little slow. It definitely plays like a spy stretched out film. Mm-hmm. She's slow. I was like, okay, little mentions, little Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. But I need episode 2 to give because that shit crawled and then the end was right, and then credits, and I was like,
right, how you gonna get me stimulated then end, bitch?
Thank you. That's man, I did it. How you go? It's right there. It's over. You know what? Never mind. Don't worry about it.
The last 20 minutes, got you stimulated, and then it just,
it
pulled it Enter the Spider-Verse, and we'll be back.
What? I mean, but that's the sign of a good. I mean, I don't know, man. I think maybe I'm getting soft out here in these streets, Omar. I'm getting soft because I think that Marvel has to try to do things different than what they've done.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. went a whole bunch of seasons.
God.
This is and Nick Fury was the original director. So this gives me some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. vibes. I mean, we can talk about whether we like that show or not. I loved the Ghost Rider we got out of it and a couple other elements.
Superhero. A superhero.
Well, but hold on. We met as superheroes. See, I mean, I think this might be one of those that you might have to rewatch because we met a superhero in our villain, not a superhero, excuse me, a superpowered individual in our villain. There's a whole bunch of them in him. I don't want to spoil it right now. Maybe we'll come back later. But I mean, there's some very significant events that take place in this shit, and you know, it's got a cameo or two. And I mean, I'm eager to hear what Omar and Tiffy think about it once they do watch it, because it's not, you know, I don't share the same feelings. But then again, I'm an outlier always, you know, and I've been roasted for giving bad recommendations for that.
Yes, you have.
That's the worst.
Love you,
not
but
that bad.
That's the worst.
Sometimes we'd be like, the first thing my fiance always says to me now is, "Who recommended this?"
Oh, come on, man. Yo, that's
off the top. That's how
off the top. Not gonna lie, like off the top.
Did Vince recommend this?
Yo,
that's prejudice. All right, I don't like it.
I will say.
Hey, go ahead,
Ty.
No.
I was gonna say for in terms of like, this was all slow, then you got me in the end. Well, I got that. There must be something in the story. There's got to be something that'll bring you into like, you know, into part 2 to make you come back because the show is all. But then also there's the setup and delivery, right? Yeah, it's also like when we were talking earlier about Across the Spider-Verse, everyone was like, "Oh man, I don't want to see Gwen. What the fuck? Like, let's just jump to Miles." Like, well, if you can't, the story can't start off with what you want. It's got to be something like the lead in, like the foreshadowing even. And I'm still on that because Gwen, she was killing the fucking drums. She was Phil Collins in the air, but that's separate. So the build, like it is the build, and there's got to be something at the end to like the grab, right? So I will agree that like Marvel there has to be something done differently in the end. But I mean, there's still things you can do within the middle. Like, all right, we're in a very instant gratification type of era now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yes. So like sometimes like I gotta wait again. What the fuck is this? Is this 2001 and I'm watching General Hospital? I gotta wait till next week. What the fuck is this? You're making me wait. Like who the
fuck is watching General Hospital in 2001? You're talking about 2010 maybe, but not 2001.
Wasn't it always running?
I thought General Hospital was like one of those old ones.
Yeah, that shit's been like time out. That shit's been on since my mom was a kid. So like I'm just saying, and they have like some of our celebrities started off on those fucking too. So
in 2001.
I just chose a random. I'm getting flashbacks to tamales and pastels now right now. But like, hey, those are Mexican dishes. Those are pastels, motherfucker. I'm sorry. But yeah,
for the jokes.
That was great.
Ty, you was finna say something?
I forgot.
Right, I got something to say. Hold on. About the episode. The only thing that I really like, I think what threw me off is a little bit was just like I think they did our boy like I don't know. I hope it's not what it looks like. Is all I say with our boy.
Oh no, it's not.
Because I was like, oh shit, when I started paying attention to
No, it's not. You're good. But I will say this. One of the things that I said last week about these older characters and things like that. Listen, Sam's getting up there in age. Sam's feet look like they hurt every time he walks across the sky. I'm dead serious. It looks like his feet look like. But when you see him walk, you literally see like you're like, damn, they need to get him some more comfortable shoes. It's not working. It's not working right now. So when I heard you say soft, Vince, all I could think about is the bottom of Samuel L. Jackson's feet and how soft they must be and tender, because the way he's walking across the screen, I'm like, get that man a chair. He just came from space. Get him a chair.
Let him. He's got that plantar fasciitis.
Thank you.
I'll be strapped tape.
Look,
I got you.
We already know that they got some of the best chair makers in the MCU. Professor X has a chair. Go holler at his chair maker. Kid, just listen. I am going to campaign from now until the end of the season for them to sit my man down. Please sit him down in a chair. That this is not young Nick Fury. This is old Nick Fury with one good eye, and y'all got him over here you know, trying to not even run, because it's not even a run, it's a trot. He trots. He like, yo, like, yeah, that's it. It's like that. It's just more hand movement.
He's doing the old man bop. Leave that old man alone.
And Ty, this is and all of that is a video. That's a video, and that's how YouTube content is. You turn the camera on, you record it, you send it to me, I edit it. It's really that simple. I just want to. It's just you talking your shit. I just wanted to point that out.
Meanwhile, back on Earth 616, he's talking hella shit about one of the few prominent black men that actually run shit in the MCU right now, because Sam is still a product of the government. Dude can't get a loan. You know what I'm saying? Monica hasn't gotten her moment yet. You know what I'm saying? Storm is not in the MCU right now. Samuel L. Jackson is almost literally it until they bring Miles in to basically dominate the MCU. So as of right now, bro, I don't know if we can like substitute anybody other than Sam. We're happy. Yes. Look, is he in his golden years? Absolutely. But he's still Samuel L. fucking Jackson, bro. And put some respect on that man's name. And you acting like age doesn't happen. Like, yes, it's been a while. He just got back on Earth from outer space, from fighting aliens, and you want him to just show up like he's like, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I just told you what to do. Get that man a chair. Get him a chair. You just said all the reasons why he needs a chair. Like, yo, he just came from space. He's been working for 57 years. He's like, there's so much. He fought Thanos. He did this. Get him a chair.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Remember, he got blipped and he was like, "Oh shit!" You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, "Oh shit." Omar, what you was gonna say, bro?
Oh, no, I was gonna say Bad Time's not wrong, but also, you know, are you saying Monica hasn't had her moment? You're not counting the movie that's coming up, or like you have her own?
It's coming in November.
Yeah,
coming in November.
Right.
My bad. Okay, look, everybody go for your boo. Anybody go for your babe. We know what it is, bro. I don't want no photon energy coming my way home. Like, you try to keep it. What's up, Nolly?
I'm normally when I read, we have superhero fatigue, Marvel's like overdoing it. Normally I roll my eyes because like people don't understand. People when they criticize Marvel shit, they forget that it's based on an elaborate and intricate world of comics, right? So that there's just so much material. If this nigga don't stop dying, there's just so much material that it's hard to be bogged down. And like you could do so much, but now watching Secret Invasion, I'm like, have we hit like the plateau? Like, is this like, because we have so much that we haven't touched yet. Like, we need our X-Men. Fantastic Four hasn't come out yet. We got like Secret Wars and shit like that. Like, I want Marvel to continue to be great, but these last two shows, baby.
You gotta innovate to be great. You gotta innovate to be great.
That part.
What are they missing, Omar? What are they missing?
Be great.
I ain't gonna tell them for free.
So you can find him on Twitter, on Instagram,
Omar.
email. Smoke signal.
Go ahead, Omar.
What I will say is, I think you're the risks, right? Like the risks, like they took with WandaVision, and WandaVision was good. I know from Will, he was like, man, once they got into the superhero stuff, I was like, but like you innovative that way. The Moon Knight, they have these great angles, but they kind of don't see them all the way through. So that might be the problem. But again, I think after Endgame, I don't think we needed to see like, oh, here's like the next step of Avengers. I think it should have gone all the way over to something else. Like, all right, we've covered, this is covered. Maybe we'll come back to this years later, but now let's go. We got to start again from the bottom and build up these other characters as well. So like, why don't we build up X-Men this way? Or maybe that's legal rights or whatever. But anyway, like, I think that's right what they've done with like Kamala Khan and like the Spider-Man and shit like that. Like, okay, we're focusing on these characters now. We'll build them up. So then now after this generation's up, all right, and now it's X-Men's time. Or now we check in with the Avengers again. Like, let you take the camera and we go to the other side of something while we let that shit build, because that's done. That's, that we can do the bonus features later. That's how I would have. I
feel like there's room for criticism, especially with the overhaul of Disney. Like when Disney basically became the place of all things Marvel, I think it kind of fucked things up. I think it was helpful to be able to have, I'm going to go see Legion on FX, and then I'm gonna go see The Runaways on Hulu, and then I'm gonna watch I'm gonna watch Luke Cage on Netflix. Like, things are kind of spread about. You're like, oh, this is exciting, it's everywhere. But then with Disney, not only is everything in the same place, it's also all looks the same. The scripts feel the same, you know, and you're starting to kind of feel this conglomerate of energy that's going into making everything a little bit more dumbed down. Now, there are some good projects that have come about. I'm going to die on this hill. I still think that Ms. Marvel was shat on unjustifiably. I think that story had some very high points. I think that Moon Knight had some. I liked it. All right, I know I'm in the vast minority. I liked the Fight Club angle of it. That's just me. I like Jake. I like the three. I love when things go cerebral, and in the MCU, we haven't had too much cerebral. Legion went cerebral, and this went cerebral. I like those two shows. Now this feels like old school MCU. And it's regurgitating some of the old tropes where, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson, as he collects his Medicare and AARP, is also having to save the world because there's nobody else who can do what he can on the face of this earth. But I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I just feel like it's a little watered down, which may be why we feel this way. You know what I mean? We could have maybe gone without this, but it's supposed to set some other stuff up. What's up, Ty?
I was just gonna say that it almost feels like bringing star power to the MCU has been detrimental to the MCU because it makes you commit to the character, and so what Omar was just saying was like he would like to see new characters explored and new stuff rather than continue with the old. But the problem with that is you've committed to these stars. So like now, I'm now I literally have my whole thing tied into Samuel Jackson, not Nick Fury. I have it tied into him as the actor. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to kind of utilize his star power, right? So I'm gonna stay committed to this, even though maybe I should have moved on, but I can't move on because he's aging. And if I try to bring him back, I don't know if he'll be available, if he'll be thing. That's where we're at with the MCU. I think the MCU needs to pay attention to where they've had their successes and not tweak too much of what they've been successful at. It'd be nice to see something new, but also if you have something that's working, why tweak it? Why mess with it? Why you know what I mean? Loki was like that. That's the one that y'all didn't mention. And when you're mentioning Moon Knight and you're mentioning WandaVision, but it's almost an abundance, an overwhelming thing that Loki was the best series that the MCU has put out in terms of television series. You can argue it with WandaVision or whatever the case may be, but those are two successful TV shows. Look, let's take the same principles that you use to make those successful and apply those to the new series.
What are those things? What?
Great acting, a good story, a good storyline. I think the acting was superb by everybody in it, including Jonathan Majors. I mean, it like Jonathan Majors secured himself a position. Look, same thing with WandaVision. Monica Rambeau secured her position in the MCU with great acting and just looking great on screen. Thank you, Monica. But yeah, like I'm just saying, like these things have been successful. Why not? Why give us? I mean, like, look, again, I understand why, but it would have been okay if there was another Nick Fury from another multiverse, since we're in that, you know what I'm saying, that maybe is a younger version or whatever, and you want to apply him to the new storyline. That would have been okay. But yeah, I'm just looking out for Samuel. He's my boy, and I'm tired of his feet hurting like that. Like I just want him to get some rest. That's all.
All right. Well, I don't know if everybody's gonna agree with the Loki sentiment. I think Loki definitely did well, but I mean, look, it was pretty good, man. It was pretty good.
It was the best.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. But we all have our qualms. But it is interesting that you mentioned Jonathan Majors, because he's also going through his own little thing this week. I don't know if y'all noticed, but he actually had a court date. And look who's by his side. Hey, what's up? You all right? You good over there, Mr. Majors? Cause
She is
your
not
PR
good.
team
Iron that shit.
Yo,
Damn.
what?
Iron that fucking jacket, bro. He's pulling up with that. That shit wrinkled as fuck.
Looking at his head. Why does his hair look like that?
Oh, come on.
I like how she looks. I like how she looks like she just like, you know, shopped at like Dolce and Gabbana, and he looked like he shopped at like.
How you
know,
gonna go do a whole PR stunt with a black queen by your side looking like that?
You're not committing to the bit.
No, no shape up.
His jacket was like crumpled on the end towards like. Did you see the pockets?
And that's how I feel like that. Is this not a real relationship? Because I feel like you wouldn't have your man out there looking crazy like that, looking fucking crazy.
Unless you're the reason why his jacket is wrinkled.
What you trying to say?
What exactly are you saying?
I'm just saying.
Drop the pants, you know, little pull up in the car.
Saying, on the white ride there, baby. I'm stressed. Baby, you stressed? Oh.
On the way to your court where you
that is wild.
Listen,
look at his
face. Wherever and whenever, but definitely, if that's what I'm choosing to do, support for my man will include making sure his ass ain't fucking wrinkly, and I can't mess up his that hairline by giving him head in the car.
Yo, Tiffy, I mean, this. Okay, yeah, it does. Well, he looks a little disheveled.
It's like different colors too. Like go back, it's like different colors in his pants too.
It's different.
I'm okay with the different colors, but the wrinkle pockets and the pockets look like somebody just tried to rip your pockets off, like
no, everything, the hair, everything. That they did not get ready in the same establishment. They met at a they had a meeting point. Megan's gonna be here at this point, then y'all are gonna walk to the courtyard together. It's gonna look like you're together. It's gonna be a really good image for the people. They didn't get ready together. She wasn't, baby, let me get the back of your B2Bs to show. Let me get the back of your head for you. Let me moisturize you, nigga. There was no conversation of that sort. They are not together. Why the fuck is that man looking so fucking scruffy? I can't stand to see him because if you don't lie to us,
at least put some starch on your shit if you gonna lie, right? Like I was expecting Jonathan Majors, but evidently Tick from Lovecraft Country showed up, like in the same outfit he had on the beginning. Like so crazy, bro. But I'm still rooting for. All right, look, all right. This whole debacle, and we don't have to spend too much of this because I know it's controversial, and I know that some of us have some very driven in opinions about it.
But let's talk about the facts, Vince. Like you saying that, but the facts have, because some stuff has come out already. With the individual, with the young lady who's accusing him of everything. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of discrepancies in her story. They have basically in the court transcripts showed that she's been lying. I'm just gonna put it out there. There's been some shit. Look, and I'm so glad, and for all of those who follow the multiverse, appreciate y'all following the multiverse. But we talked about this on the multiverse, and I said this: there are women out here who sometimes are just mad at you, and then when they get mad, they just get a little spiteful. And I understand that we get in our feelings. I've been there. I understand. But when you're sitting there putting somebody in a position like this, and you start saying they hit you and all of that kind of stuff, you're now affecting their freedom, because this man could go to jail behind some stuff like that. So when I know it's proper and it's good to always believe the victim, and I don't want to change that perception of believing the victim. But I also want to make sure we understand that we live under a democracy that affords us a judiciary system that goes through the process of evidence before convicting somebody in public opinion. And I think there were a lot of people, because of a lot of the instances that have happened within society, that wanted to immediately villainize this guy and say how he's this and terrible and all of that. And now the evidence is starting to surface, and I'm glad. I'm glad for him. You know what I'm saying, that this is starting to come out. But yeah, that's what's going on in the court right now. Is her testimony is under heavy scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something to say, Omar? Or are you just doing the Thanos? I just got.
Oh no, I was, but then Bad Ty said, Bad Ty said it. That's well, like yes, there is as in there's nothing wrong with believing the victim because a lot of women do not get believed. But then like then your evidence comes out and whatnot, and it's like, oh, okay. And then if you are lying, then that is a whole nother dispute of like, yo, like it's hard enough to believe women and whatnot, and then if someone's like actually lying and shit, like, well, you're not making like you. What the fuck you doing? Like, you know, you are the reason folks then say like, oh, someone lying on something then becomes the reason of why, like, oh, this is why we don't get believed. Like you are hurting us a lot. But he already covered it in saying like, we should believe like the victim, because women, like, it's hard enough to speak up and whatnot, and also they don't get believed as well. Mm-hmm. But then like, you know, evidence comes out and they're like, oh, well, this was a lie. You shouldn't feel bad for believing someone. It's not like when someone's like, oh yeah, you see, like, well, no, you shouldn't feel bad for backing someone, because then you can court of public opinion and whatnot. But then also, you're all right. Then you see the whole thing as well.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
true.
But like, he already covered that.
Well, no, I mean, you got a good point. It's a very difficult situation to be in, especially now, because I mean, you know, there are some really fucked up things that are happening. You know, nobody's here is going to jump to R. Kelly's defense, I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to jump to the
we
orange
have people
guy.
that like to play devil advocate in the chat.
Oh yeah, all right. Well,
the devil doesn't need an advocate. The devil doesn't need an advocate.
Like, just say the quiet part out loud that you support this man. Don't be on some devil advocate shit.
All right. That part. But my point is that these things happen. So the fact that there were people trying to shout even back then and they weren't believed, now is coming to. So I think that there are some people, men and women alike, that will try to, take advantage of our, like wanting to believe and wanting to stand up for that person. And this fits in that. The thing that's confusing to me is that first of all, she went to the police and then she retracted. And then she said, I didn't tell them to arrest you. What the fuck did you think that they was going to do when you went to the police? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do.
Her whole timeline is weird. She went to the hospital, then had to undergo a psych eval, then went clubbing same night.
Oh, wow. And this is before she went to the police? I didn't know about that.
This is after she talked to the police.
Oh.
At the hospital.
Okay. All right. Well, look. I don't know. I don't want to get into the
fishy, but I'm
40/40 club.
That was their Blink 182 concert. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't.
That was the Blink 182.
Everybody grieves differently. But
that is why everybody grieves differently. That is wild. That is why. If it's not a Mary J. Blige concert afterwards, then nah, dog. You can't.
No. In this dancer,
they're twerking.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look at this. What it is, but
I'm judging the concert. I'm judging the concert. I'm like, you went to see Usher afterwards? Okay. Oh, you went to see fucking Linkin Park afterwards? This is I'm judging off the concert.
Yeah, it's the fact that it was Blink 182. Like that's you're like, dude, Travis Barker's not even with them anymore. Like, he's too busy. It's like it's not even classic for Blink.
Travis Barker's not even with them. I don't.
That's funny.
But yeah, I selfishly in this whole Jonathan debacle am selfishly hoping. And this may be unfair to the people who are in firm belief that he is guilty of what he's accused of. But I'm rooting for him to at least get out of this with enough of the dirt off of him to allow us to enjoy the movies that he's already filmed. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he's already done. He's about to be what's his name in Loki? John Time. What's his name?
Victor Timely.
Victor Timeless or whatever, and they already titled one of the Avengers movies, which they just pushed back. Kang, like Kang is in the name. So I mean, I know they talk about doing the whole Snowfall swap and all of that, but I'm just hoping that this doesn't fuck up my Marvel movie going experience. Please,
but we gotta remember, he's black.
Yeah, he's not Ezra. Yeah.
So the minute that this shit came out, I said, even if this man didn't do it, he's fucked.
Yeah,
Well,
Coming back from that.
tainted.
I'll say this in regards to that, right? If he is completely, if it's shown that she completely made this up and this is all the rules and everything like that, he will be, vilified. He won't. We're not there. That part will be fine. Now Disney is going to tread very lightly with this. They're going to make sure that there is a not guilty, all of that kind of stuff, and then they'll go on probably a PR tour where they kind of build him back up. He'll have to go through that. As a black man, he'll have to go through that. He'll have to go through the PR like that. Maybe he's got some other movies. Actually, I know he had another movie that was supposed to come out.
He got dropped.
He's like an exotic dancer or something. I don't even know what it is, but I saw it. It's supposed to come out. So, but these things, like he'll need something like that, like a movie or something of him showing his great acting again. For people to jump back on board. Of course, there are always going to be people that develop their own opinions, and no matter what evidence comes out, they have this opinion of him because he was tied into a situation like that. We're not talking to those people. We could care less about them. What I'm saying is that I don't think Marvel is at this point willing to recast Kang. They realize that this nigga is Kang, and they know that. So they probably will move very slowly in how they approach this, and like I said, probably go on like a PR run where he does like some stuff, and we see him again, and we're like, oh, we remember how good of an actor he is, and then they'll be like, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna stand by him, and almost the same thing as what the directors did for Ezra. Well, he made a mistake. He's in treatment. He made mistakes. He's in treatment. And that's what it's going to be. He's going to need some anger management treatment, regardless if he did it or not, sir.
That part.
We need that as something we can refer to. We could be like, Buddy's getting treatment. Like that's like everybody loves the whole, like you got the retro. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're going through that, so he's going to go through it. But I think he'll come out on the other side, pretty good.
Yeah, there has to be retribution or a pathway towards a new person. But the difference is this motherfucker was not charged multiple times. This is one incident. With Ezra, they have to be like, yo, look, he's recovering, and they're kind of, I'm not trying to say it's not a viable something to list, but they're like trying to just push it all on mental health when I think some of that stuff was done cognizantly. What's up, Omar?
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. Yeah.
Are there any visuals? I meant to ask this. Are there any photos of her having any bruises or anything like that? Is there any photos that like somebody can go and check into and she's got any
supposedly there's video proving that he didn't touch her and that she was having some sort of mental breakdown, which, girl, I get it. Me too, same. But nothing that they've released, and his lawyer is always like, yeah, we're gonna like release stuff, and so that but everything they've released is just shit that's like, that sounds like you coerced her to text that.
Right. If he is innocent, that lawyer sucks, because I'm sorry, one, it is believe victims off top. And then when you have a lawyer just not making good moves, if me, a fake PR Olivia wannabe looks at it and goes, I could have done better. Like, she did not help the situation. So maybe you should have led with this.
I at first I was kind of like I was kind of very against the Megan Good concept, but it's been introduced. It's been brought to my attention that Megan Good may have been the source of the problem in the first place, and that perhaps, I don't know the validity of this. And now hear me out. From what I heard from sources, like, gossip sources, that they were already kind of talking even while he was in this other relationship. And once that started kind of becoming a little bit more, let me see your phone. Nah, you don't need to see my phone. You know that situation, you know what I'm saying? And once it starts to surface, this is what the argument's about. And now they're trying to be out front. I don't know how much of that is true. I am rooting for them to be a real couple if they are. It doesn't feel like they are. It feels very artificial, very for the cameras, very PR. But I will say this: if there was a person that would help you by being on your side, even if it is fake, I think Megan Good is a good candidate for being that person. Am I wrong? No, Tiffy,
Why?
Tiffy, give me the face.
Why?
Why? Well, because
She
only
look good?
reason I say is because Megan Good she's controversy free. Like she doesn't have anything. There's nothing in her past.
You see how this is working out for her. And I just want to touch on this real quick because first of all, this is a situation between a black man that chose to shack it up with a white woman, and now Megan Good and her legacy. We're looking at her crazy. It's not on Megan Good to save this black man. If this is a real relationship, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that her name is being brought into it like she's the source of the issues between them. Oh, Megan Good caused it. How's a black woman getting slandered in this situation that didn't have, like, she's not part of it. It was between them and whatever altercation, if it was a real physical assault or if the white woman made it up. Now Megan Good's involved, a black woman, and if it's because she was a partner of his or if because she's been brought in as a PR stunt, either way, her legacy is getting tarnished off of it. It's not a good look. I hate that for her. All the way.
Oh, okay. Nolly, what you think?
And you know what I hate? It's that common theme that black women are supposed to save black men all the time. My man's has only dated white women for like his whole public life. And so he gets the black girl and it's look at this new and refreshing
king that loves us.
Right? Like every time.
Ty.
It's not that you guys are supposed to save us. It's that you do save us. It's not anything that you're supposed to do, but you guys choose to do it because that's what a black woman does. Is she protects her family, she protects her loved ones, she protects all things that she loves. This is not an expectation. This is what black women do. Like, if you ever see a man in distress, a black man in distress, and he has a black woman beside him, she protects him. That's what she does. It's not that we think that's what they should do. That's just what black women do. I'm sure you've done the same thing if you've been in a relationship with a black man. And at some point, we won't say the last relationship so close to, but at some point, black women always stand up for their men. Listen, I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
Sure.
I was out with my wife one time, right? And what do you mean? I'm
just saying it's about to get real.
But I was out with my wife one time, and an individual said something, and me, I'm the type that I like to. If you say something under your breath or slick or whatever, I'm gonna address it right then. I'm not gonna overlook it. My wife is like, no, just let it go. I'm more like, no, we gonna address that. I heard that slick shit. What you mean? That's me. Now, if I would have acted and kept on acting, I probably would have wound myself up in jail. But because my wife loves me and because she wanted to protect me, she did everything in her power to discourage me from that situation. This happens often in the black community, where our black women either, and if they're not able to discourage us from that situation, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna fight with us. They're gonna fight with us. They're gonna fight whoever tries to approach us, to attack us, everything. Now, I'm not saying that this does not happen in other ethnicities, but it predominantly happens in the black culture. So that's why I'm saying, like, I know that from y'all's perspective as women, y'all are saying that there's like, we expect y'all to do it, but this is something that just has been happening for years and years and years. But go ahead, ladies.
Omar.
I was just gonna say, like, I think there's a difference where, like, you're on the same team and you're protecting each other, as opposed to like a dude like I when that certain basketball player cheated on his wife and it then became public, you know, it's the difference where, like, you got me out here looking fucking crazy because of your own actions. And then it's a choice of whether, am I, you know what I mean? Like, you know, this is marriage or whatever, or it's no, nigga, that's you have fun with that. There's a difference where it's like, you're not like, whoever their relationship is, whatever unit, if Jonathan was like cheating or whatever, then that is on you. The number one rule: don't have me out here looking crazy. Don't have me out here looking stupid. It's a different thing when it's that. When you're in unison together, yeah, you're married. Yeah, well, because you're vetted, right? We are together here. It should happen. Whatever. It's a different thing where it's like if he's talking to two women at the same time, then that is I think that's the driving point right there. That is a you thing right there. That's you right there. So it's you out there looking crazy, and it's on you to defend that. It shouldn't have to be someone stepping in to save you from that.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Like, and I listen. I'm not discrediting that point at all. Like, I totally agree. What I'm saying is, like, to Nolly's point is she was saying that there's an expectation, and what I'm saying is, it's not an expectation. This is something that Black women just do. This is something that they do. Like, whether it's your wife or your girl, because like I have plenty of scenarios. I just use that scenario, but there's plenty of times where you could make your woman look crazy in the streets, and instead of her going out on blogs and going out in there and just disparaging you, like I forget what the guy's name was, where he's and then this Black couple, but I wish I remember his name, but they were public. Their relationship was public about him cheating on his wife a whole bunch of times and everything like that.
Derek, whatever the hell.
Derek, him. And then his wife, and look, and then his wife, yes, Derek Jackson, and then his wife.
In the hostage video where he's holding her hands and she's blinking, going,
in the name of the Holy Spirit,
yes,
in the name of my Heavenly Father,
yes.
And I beseech you, bitch assholes out there talking about my husband. Okay,
she could have went left and been and totally went.
And look where that got her. He went somebody new. She got.
I'm not saying it's right. Like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's. I'm not saying
it's built in the cake. I get it. It's not something that it's one of those things. It's like, listen, I'm not expecting for my wife to jump in this fight when I say something stupid, but it happens, and I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? So we're not expecting it. It is what it is. I will say it's funny that Omar talked about the one guy in the NBA who was cheated on his wife. I'm sure. He's like, you know, that one couple, that the one basketball player who cheated. Oh yeah, that one,
like
right?
Your own adventure.
No,
I was trying to.
The entire NBA population is guilty of. Even Steve Nash, I think that he ain't above him. All of them. The white boys, you ain't get Stockton. All of y'all, goddamn it! All of y'all, goddamn it, was cheating.
Magic got HIV on his wife, and she stayed with him still to this day. And I hate to say that. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth.
Cosby's wife is still with him, son. Cosby's wife is still Mrs. Cosby.
It's cheaper to keep her.
Huh?
Yeah, well,
it's cheaper to keep her.
It's cheaper to keep her. Y'all ever heard that term?
You can't keep somebody that you can't keep somebody that don't want to be kept.
I know a lot of people with money that have a wife and have a girlfriend because it's cheaper to keep her.
Well, let me tell you this. When it comes to wives and girlfriends in the NBA, ladies, you already know how that goes. So be careful is all I'm going to say, because there's a lot of temptation out there in these streets. But when I say that they ain't the only ones with problems in their marriage is an understatement. Even the X-Men is having problems in marriages and in relationships. You saw what I did? Your boy is back. Your boy is back. The king of the transition. Let's talk about it. And even, man, one of our own here, Tiffany, was able to elaborate on some of the goings on, in addition to the fact that there was a wedding. There is an upcoming wedding with one Tony Stark, all right, and Emma Frost. And this is, I don't know, man. This is giving me villain plus, Frozen. I don't know. Emma Frost is like the Frozen of the X-Men. And it's not something everybody likes. If you look, you can tell they're picking sides. Even my man Scott is giving me fuck this bullshit face as he clutches onto his patrol. And he's not here for it. He's not here for it. But some of this stuff is cool. Now, Omar, I want you to tell us all the tea. Give me the drama. Hold on. Let me get my teacup, man.
Yes, can do. I'll give you the politics, and then I'll leave it to Tiffany to give the fashion.
I couldn't find the tea, but I got the wine. I'm gonna go ahead and suck it down while you go ahead and talk it. Go ahead, bro. What's going on with the X-Men, homeboy?
What are you gonna do with the wine? You're gonna?
I'm going to drink it.
He's invisible. He's invisible.
I heard it.
I'm going to suck. I'm going to
suck it down.
Suck it
I'm gonna
down.
Suck it down pipe.
Just suck it down wine.
You don't want to watch?
That's the only way to get through alcohol. That's the only way. So what's
That's for
happening?
the OnlyFans, Vince.
Yeah. Put your feet while you do it.
Subscribe to the Patreon. What's going on, Omar?
So what's happening with Iron Man? I can do a quick. I won't go on with this. What's happening in Iron Man is that Tony, he used to sell fucking weapons and shit like that. So now what he's doing is he's got all the weapons of mass destruction that he built and shit like that. He's bought them all back, and he's lost a fortune in doing that because man's trying to do right and shit. He's lost his fortune. He's lost stake in his company. The downside of that is Orchis, the people that are attacking mutants and saying fuck the X-Men, they bought his company, particularly this one dude, Fei Long. Fei Long bought Stark Industries, and what Fei Long has done with Stark Industries is create Sentinels using Tony Stark's armor. So you got Iron Man level Sentinels now. And Tony Stark went into communication with Emma Frost to find out more about the guy Fei Long. He's like, all right, basically the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And talk with Emma Frost, like, yo, what is this guy's fucking deal? And so he got the information from her. Tony Stark's like, you know what we're going to do? All right, I'm going to bomb the factory where they're making these Stark Sentinels. And I know I'm going to get in trouble. I know it's going to be me, but fuck it. And so he brought his boy Rhodey along with him. Rhodey acted as Iron Man in the Iron Man armor to cause a distraction while Stark went in there and bombed. The problem was one Sentinel was online. It trapped Stark. He still got the bombs off. He still got to disrupt the distribution. The problem is when Rhodey was getting out the Iron Man armor and switching into his War Machine armor, cops showed up. Everybody showed up. Everybody. I think they were already kind of on them. They anticipated it. And so Rhodey is being taken in, and Stark is in stealth suit watching this shit happen. Like, fuck. They got like they done got my. He was helping me out, and I got him in this shit. And I know, and he called She-Hulk. He's like, hey, I'm gonna. She's like, I'm already on it. The NSA took this motherfucker. What were you doing? So now Stark is on the run, wanted man. And what's one way out of being wanted by America if you're an enemy of the state? Political marriage. You go to Krakoa with the X-Men, who are their own sovereign nation, marry Emma Frost, who's also been helping them out, and their mutual enemy is Orchis. It looks a lot better right there. Now the messy part is we know there's a polycule going on with Jean, Scott, and Logan. And we know it's a polycule because on Scott's home base on the moon, he lives with his son from an alternate future. He lives with his daughter with an alternate future. He lives with Jean and Logan. Jean's room has 2 access points, one to Scott's side and one to Wolverine's side.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, niggas is getting freaky. And we've also seen Jean on X-Force busting down on Logan. And we've also seen them talking in Scott's, and I won't say it's called the Summer's house. It's on the moon. And then we see them talking to he come to bed, I was talking to Logan, and we've seen her kiss Logan right in front of Scott. What we have not seen yet is Emma and Scott, because they were still a thing as well. So I was like, all right, you've been showing Chekhov's polycule. If you show us the polycule in Act 1, somebody got a bus. I'm sorry, everybody got a bus by Act 3, or show the bus if they show a bus. So now what's happening is there's an issue of X-Men where Emma and Scott are talking, and they're sitting in the treehouse from the X-Men, and they're talking to each other. So now it's like, okay, what is this going to be? Because they've still been interacting with each other and shit like that. When shit was going on with the Quiet Council, Emma told Scott what was happening. Scott told Emma what was happening. And she's like, oh, fuck, you went through all that. She's like, oh, fuck, you went through that shit. All right, I guess I got to tell Jeannie, we'll reconvene. Fuck. So now it's like, all right, this shit, it's getting, it's messed. The X-Men have brought the mess back, baby. So now we're going to see like, okay, yeah, the wedding's happening and whatnot, but what will happen between Scott and Emma? And also like, and will Tony Stark now be walking around butt naked, drinking fucking ginger ale on Krakoa? Like, what is going to happen here? Because also the Fall of X is happening, and like the whole X-Men shit. Like, this might be the last Hellfire Gala, and Orchis is coming from the X-Men on all these different fronts. So this might be the end of this whole Krakoa ever, and they might just be sent right back to their fucking school, which gets bombed every other week. So
damn,
we don't know. So, but this is the fun. This is the mess. But if we're going to talk about this, I like to talk about the mess, but we're going to talk about the dress.
No, we'll definitely talk about the dress and the mess. I want to hear Tiffy. Tiffy actually had a take on the dress. I want to hear about that. I have a quick question though before we show that.
Yes.
Krakoa is just for mutants. Like, can you marry? All right.
Technically, they have well, yeah, it does work that way because I'm glad you brought that up. Wilson Fisk was married to Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary is a mutant. She can be she is a citizen of Krakoa. All mutants can have citizenship. So therefore, your spouse, that was the thing. Like he's my husband. So the Wilson Fisk is my husband. He was also trying to avoid a bunch of shit because he fucked up a bunch of shit in New York. And I think Emma was like, no, you can't. I have to read it, but I believe Emma was like, fuck out of here, because she's done dealings with the Kingpin as well. But now Emma is doing the exact same thing. The theory, it looks like she's doing the exact same thing. So will that have to be will that rule have to, you know what I mean? Like, and these are the things that happen when you're building a nation. Also, there aren't humans that live on there, but humans do have access to the gates. Like certain people, they're like, all right, like Scott Summers' father, he's like, oh, I live on a planet, you can come and visit and stuff like that. Juggernaut, Xavier's brother, he does live on Krakoa. He's not a mutant, but he's helped them out and shit like that. And he's also been given a start over. So there are some have access to it. Only a few like live there, but is like there's those certain exceptions to the rule. Very, very, very few. I'm thinking like one or two. Even Deadpool was allowed to be there as well. But now, but mostly it is mostly for mutants. So like, there's only, if it's Deadpool and Juggernaut, maybe the only two humans actually living there, whereas others, family members, can have access to Krakoa.
I don't know. It's giving Passport Bros Krakoa. You know, it's giving me 90 Day Beyonce Krakoa.
Think about it this way. You're a black. I always thought about it this way. You're a black mutant, right? Like, okay, cool. I live in Brooklyn and shit. Cool. I want to go. I'm like, all right, cool. I get to go. I get to fucking go. I get to go live with the mutants. Awesome. But also like, what my niggas is still here struggling and shit like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm thinking like, how can I go? Well, I mean, the island's getting attacked, but like, I get to have a pass with my, just because they're not a mutant. Like, I don't get to see my family like that. But like, no, you are vetting your family. You're saying this person's cool. We are trusting you with this. Here's a gate for them. They can come and visit. Motherfuckers can't. Hey. Y'all niggas ain't gonna live here. But you know, I'm saying, you at least come and visit that way. At least that way. And those people that are living there, like Deadpool's always been an ally to the X-Men, and that was his whole thing. Like, I've been with y'all niggas when y'all motherfuckers hated you. I took on myself. It wasn't expected of me, but I did it. I took the fall for you motherfuckers, and you're not gonna invite me to this shit. And then Wolverine's like, all right, he's got a point. So he joined the X-Force work, doing the wet work shit. And so like, it's there. It makes sense. It does make sense. Where I was like, all right, it's my family. You know what I'm saying? And they're coming in, and their family's not the one that's trying to hurt them. Orcus is.
So Omar, what you're saying is, if I want all my niggas to come live where I'm at on Krakoa, I need to bring all of the mutant single girls and I need to bring the mutant single girls and be like, yo, look, hey, these my homies. Hey, look, y'all, if y'all want to stay, you got to get them pregnant.
No, I am not saying that at all. I am not saying that at all.
You got to get them pregnant, marry them, something, because you can only stay if you married or pregnant. So.
All right. Well, cosplay is not consent. What are you saying? Yes.
Chucking up the deuces, dog.
Like, yo, hold up. I don't know. It does give me, you know what I'm saying, sovereignty vibes. You know what I mean?
It's your own nation.
Yeah, and I'm getting. I mean, this is definitely bringing back a lot of those 90 Day the Other Way binge that I had, where, you know, like a dude goes to Colombia, but you know he can't bring the girl back because, you know, she doesn't have it. You know, like, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that, man. But it's just weird because it's Tony Stark, you know, and it's also fucked up that Rhodey, the black man, I'm saying, gets took down by the police, and he's standing there like with all his privilege, just letting it go. Because I know he can't just, you know, just uninvincible himself, because he go down too. But it's kind of fucked up that the black man once again takes the fall, and that's just how it is. But there are some light moments that come about this, as you can see. Everybody in this bitch draped down. Damn it, look at this dress right here. The dress did not come to play, did it?
If I am not serving scrumdiddlyumptious at my wedding like Emma Frost, I simply wish to not get married. Emma, please! Oh, she's marrying Tony Stark. Boo! I don't care about none of that. That's politics. This is fashion. That ain't love. This is love. And this is a hater.
Yeah, that's such a good. I didn't know it was gonna be that short, and you did that. I was like, that's perfect. I love the angle where it's just this.
That's my favorite angle. That's my favorite angle. Just give them the top of the head. In my tight ass ponytail.
Come on, Tiffy. Yo, break down the video, man. So you love it. So you can't get married in this dress. You ain't worth getting married, Tiffy.
It's not even about that dress specifically. It's about the drip of the dress. And you know what? The drip of the dress. I don't know if y'all have seen the movie Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
But I love that movie. I love the books as well. But there is a character that gets married, super small scene, and the scene in the movie is crazy because she has that exact same type of sparkle going up her leg, and that's what it reminds me of. But it's so dramatic. It's so Emma. I'm behind on the comics, and Omar actually catches me up on a lot of stuff. So it's great that I get to stay informed, but I don't have time to read them as much as I want to. But when it comes to the fashion, like, I just love how beautiful this shit is. The art of it, I go crazy for that. And just when it comes to Emma and the looks that she serves just consistently, and that's one of the reasons why I really love the Hellfire Gala. It's fashion and it's comic book shit, and it's the X-Men specifically, and it's all of these worlds together, and it's just so fucking cool. The way that they illustrate her sparkles, the fact that she makes her own diamonds, and she's just like, yeah. She was like, let me just put some little razzle dazzle up my fucking eye for them. Like, that is such a vibe. I know that her character has been problematic. I know, like, I love her so much just for the sheer drama of it. Fuck the political wedding. She said, looking at me in my dress, and that's truly why we're here. Like, it's
what I love. For the political part of Emma, where it's like, she's been problematic. Emma's paid her dues, where she's been a teacher for students. Like, it would say what you want about her. She does it for. She's Wu-Tang. She is Wu-Tang.
She's for the children. Oh, come on, man.
No, literally, like she was on Genosha when Genosha got bombed. She was one of the only survivors, and she was protecting children. That's when her diamond mutation came up. She was there in Xavier School protecting children when a civil war was happening, and then Tony Stark came to her door saying, "Oh, whose side are you going to be on? Are you going to be on Captain America's side or my side?" She's like, "We're burying children right now, and you're coming to our door asking us this. If your war is ending like what we're going on, where you weren't even here for us, you're going to need a shovel because you're going to be burying as many people as we have kids dead outside right now." Emma Frost has been about her shit, and even Wolverine said, like, yo, yeah, you've done your shit, but look at me. Wolverine, CIA, wet work, killer. You know what I'm saying? I did my shit too, but now you're fighting with us. You're of us. So she's been with the X-Men. Like, she's paid her dues. Yeah, and also all the shit she's done has been for the good of children and for the good of the X-Men. Like, she has paid her dues. Like, your girl's clean. Now, she still fucking gets the money, how the money got to be got, because we know we doing backhanded deals and shit like that to move these fucking recovered drugs and shit, but that's Pusha T will respect that. We praise Pusha T for that. We praise him for that.
That's not Pusha T.
Her name is still her name. We know this shit gotta be funded somehow, which is why Charles and Magneto went to her. Like, Emma Frost, like, yeah, she did her dirt, but like, she's the blood. She got blood on the hands, but like, you know what I'm saying? That they still clean though. Because she's done her work. She's done.
I can't stand it.
Oh my god, y'all caping real hard for this queen. This chick was not really big on the X-Men's good side at one point, if I'm not mistaken. And
because she wasn't enemy, but so was Rogue. So, you know what I mean? Like, so was Rogue.
Okay, fair enough. Well, two completely different circumstances.
Not about how you start. It's about how you finish.
Rogue almost killed Miss Marvel. Carol Danvers almost killed her.
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel. She's Captain Marvel now. Back when she was Miss Marvel, Rogue almost killed her by draining her powers. That's why she's so invulnerable and shit.
Was that intentional, bro?
And I mean, she was working under Mystique. Intent versus impact. Ooh, and she was, oh shit. And Mystique said, hold on. She's like, all right. And then she feels guilty. She's always apologetic.
Yeah, she doesn't do these things on purpose. Sometimes.
You're a villain.
I mean, but
X-Men took her in. X-Men took her in, and we trained her on how to be a hero. Remy LeBeau was an assassin and a thief. You know what I mean? We all Psylocke, fucking Quinnan was an assassin. Everybody, these niggas killed niggas. Don't act brand new now. All right, well, let me ask you this.
like, why is Scott? I mean, why is he sitting by? Why does he still feel some kind of way? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got the girl that he wanted originally. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. He's giving me a little.
No, you're right.
I'm saying, like, yo, it's long known canon that Scott and Jean have had their thing since the get, and then they, you know, and I mean, I know now they got the whole little swingers thing, and they had hedonism doing or whatever. But I mean, like, why, if he's so free to do what he want, you know, and it's his thing. Why is he sitting there clutching on to the main chick like this? If he is already done with it, I mean, I get it. He still got feelings,
and she
but I
is
mean,
so
bro,
unbothered.
like, bro, what's going on, man?
I'll tell you what's happening because back. I don't want to. All right, so back two things, and I'll do the abridged version. I don't want to talk a lot about it. When Jean sacrificed herself for the Phoenix Force and saved the X-Men, it was a switch on the trope of the man saying, "Oh, I'll do this work." Scott was hysterical because she died. The whole point of that was, all right, we flipped this trope where the woman sacrificed herself and she had the big moment instead of a man. Cyclops' role then was to like, all right, who the fuck are you aside from being an X-Man now? You don't know, nigga. You can't balance a checkbook. You can't. Who are you now? And so, like, his whole arc was supposed to be go off, get married with Madeline Pryor, and you find out she's a clone. Blah 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 blah. He was supposed to do that. The X-Men got jumping again in the comic books, the new wave of X-Men, and then the fans were like, "Yo, man, this shit's so hot. Wouldn't it be great to see the original X-Men now?" And then Marvel's like, editors were like, "We gotta bring them back. We got to bring him back," which is why Scott was brought back. Even though he had a wife and kid on the way, he was brought back. They gave him that. That was his fuckboy decision they gave him, all because people wanted that back. Years later, Jean dies again. Big surprise. 14th time. Whatever. He was married to Scott. He's not married to Scott, but he was with Emma. And it was like he was finally his true self as well for this for damn near, it must have been, how long was Jean dead for? Maybe 10 years real time, maybe 10 or 8 years real time, where it's like, oh, and it seems like that's always been the issue with fans. So like, that man, it feels like they've grown out of each other. He should be with Emma, but like they keep focusing like Marvel, like just how they don't let Spider-Man grow up. Oh, he's still with Jean, but like you kind of fixed that because you had the polycule shit going on. Cool. The problem is if you're going to do that with the writing and insinuate that, then you got to show all of it. You just insinuated with Scott and Emma. We've seen Jean and Logan because everybody knows Jean and Logan's thing, how they're hot for each other and shit like that. Cool. We know it with Scott and Emma, but then why haven't you shown that in these 4 years as well? Only insinuated. Oh, when Scott sleeps here, he says, when I sleep my diamond for him, Scott says, I'm so cool. All right. All these insinuations, you're not showing. You got to show the bust. You got to show the bust, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got to show the orgasm. So that's want to see the nut. We got to show the nut, boy. So that is the problem. Where it's like, you played at these things, you've hinted at it. You got to show the whole thing now. So that is why. And also, this it's my theory that this is a political. It's my theory, but there's no other way around that. But maybe they might like fuck with each other. You know, but it looks like they will be talking about it in X-Men, and we got to see how he feels about that shit. But like, we have not gotten to see Scott and Emma in a non-public setting and whatnot, among how they are with this shit. We've even seen how Jean and Emma are towards each other. We've even seen how Logan and Jean, because even Scott says to Logan, like, hey, we're going, I know you don't really like this shit, you're not with the family thing, but we're taking the kids to the beach and we'd love it if you came along. And Scott, and then Logan's like, all right, Jean in the bikini. He's like, Scott he's like, Logan says, Jean in the bikini, and then Scott says, Cyclops in a Speedo, and he's like, that is good as well. So I was like, listen, niggas we out here doing nasty shit. So why you not showing the nasty shit? That is where it comes down to. So now we'll get to, in the X-Men issue, we'll get to see him, Scott and Emma talk and shit. So, but I'm just saying, like, if we don't show me the polycule in Act 1 and not show me everybody busting by Act 3. That's where it comes down.
Yo, all right, I think you might be reading the wrong kind of books.
No, I'm reading the right ones. X-Men are nasty niggas. Y'all know this.
The Sex-Men.
Y'all know this. This ain't nothing new. They got a whole room where it smells funky as fuck. Y'all know.
Yo, Yaz, you remember on Peacemaker when they went the sex room, the sex party that they had and shit like that?
Yeah.
Freaking when Omar went to the X-Men. What's up, Ty? And then we'll move on.
I was just gonna say that by the looks of the comic, you know, it looks like Cyclops is mad because, I mean, isn't Emma made of diamonds at some point? Don't she like turn into like have a diamond
form? Yeah.
A diamond form, right?
Yeah.
I think she probably promised Scott that she was gonna get that nigga that chain, and he realized he didn't get the chain soon enough.
The Rockefeller chain.
Yeah, that Rockefeller chain with all them diamonds in it. And she told him, she probably was like, you know, you my boo. You know, Father's Day's coming. You know, I mean, I know you don't got no kids. But I want to make sure you look in the blingiest. And he was like, for real, girl, you love me like that? She was like, you know, I wouldn't give this to Wolverine. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So he was probably looking forward to that chain and then realized, damn, I didn't get that chain. I think he was squeezing Jean's hand at that moment. He was like really clutching that hard, like, that bitch promised me that diamond chain, and I ain't gonna get that chain now.
I ain't gonna get the rock now.
Yeah, look, Tony already got money. He could have got his own chain. You know what I'm saying? That would have been my level of, you know what I'm saying? I'd have been like, man.
Notice the color Tony's wearing too. Notice the colors Tony's wearing, and notice the color of his shades.
Yeah, that's the shady part.
Why they red? Why they red like that?
Petty.
I don't like that petty shit. Look at that. Look at that petty shit. Nah, nigga. No X-Man is smiling in this picture. The Avengers are happy. No X-Man is smiling. X-Men are like, this is the whitest shit I ever seen. Look at this shit is gross. Look at
gross. The shade is a thing. Yes. Even though, I mean, I don't, you know, I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Scott does wear the shades too. I mean, because some would say, you know, also Daredevil.
He debuted before Daredevil, 1963. Daredevil debuted in 64.
Okay, all right.
He did original.
I don't got no cash in the I don't want to fight.
It up.
But that is a fascinating whole debacle, man, to sit there and go down. So we want to get into more of that. I have questions. Hopefully you stay around a little bit because I really am wondering, like, why even deal with Krakoa anymore if they got the whole planet of Mars. Araku, why even, you know, I mean, but these are two different editions. I know they're two different editions, but we'll talk about that a little later. Mm-hmm. I have to get this out of my system, and then we'll move on to our opinions about live action One Piece and our opinions about live action. I've struggled whether or not to say Avatar, but it's really The Last Airbender now, so I don't want to call it Avatar. But these live action projects are on the docket. But I have to say something, and I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to bear with us through this little bit. We've got to talk about our brethren that are out seeking new lives and new civilizations, that boldly go where no men have gone before, that are currently out there looking through strange new worlds, shall I say. And I know everybody, this ain't everybody jam. I get it. I know. But, bruh, right now is key pinnacle Star Trek. And Ty and I have got to at least bare minimum discuss the impact of one Nira that pulled up to Star Trek this week in full Johnny Cochran form, defending her brethren in the Illyrian race for being what they are, keeping the Federation from being some racist fucks, and keeping people out of the Federation just because of the way that their cultures are. If this young lady did not deliver, Ty, am I wrong?
Yo, there's one movie that I reference in terms of one of the most iconic lawyer jury trial moments in history, and that's Matthew McConaughey in Time to Kill. In the Time to Kill, in that monologue that he did, and like that, it was one of those things that like was one of the most like touching, like it's just like the visual was just epic. This is up there with that. She put on I was thrown by her performance. Like that. For even if you're not a Star Trek fan, right? If you're just a fan of great acting, this was, I mean, she just stuck her whole foot in the pot and just was like, yo, y'all about to have the best greens you ever had in your life. And I was there for it. I'm telling you, I'm not playing, bro. It brought me to tears. Woo. Like this is how powerful her I can't even contain myself in this moment right now, because she talks about it. It literally is spotlighting any group that has ever been attacked, mistreated, If you ever get in a case that you feel like that, and they all tell you you're not going to be able to beat it, call her. Call her, because you're going to beat it. She'll beat it.
Nira, she's definitely
on my
411 pain list. Look, let's just do it like this. Nira, since you're probably not going to watch it anyway. Here's what happened. Spoilers ahead. I definitely think you should, and it's only 2 episodes deep. We're in the Star Trek universe right now, which for those of y'all that don't watch Star Trek, I get it, because they were hidden for a while, especially when they first re-emerged with Discovery, which they put behind a paywall, which was stupid, because it was around the time when folks were just watching Netflix, and CBS was actually airing it on TV. So if you had cable, you had it, but they would you had to pay to watch it on demand, which was stupid. So I think that and it's still kind of like that. So anyway, just saying that Star Trek Strange New Worlds has now surfaced with Captain Pike, who was the original captain. He was the one that gave the Enterprise to Captain Tiberius Kirk. Tiberius. I called him Tiberius. And so now we're in the midst of a prequel. Basically, this is the Enterprise before we give it to Captain Kirk, which gives us young Spock. We've got young Spock in there. You can see him all the way on the left-hand side, right by Dr. Mabinga. We've got young Uhura right here, who just joined the Federation. She was on the fence. I don't know if I want to be in the Federation or not, but she ended up joining the Federation. And then we've got Rebecca Romijn's character, who basically plays the part that Riker was in the Next Generation. She's number one, but it comes to find out she's Illyrian, which means that her culture genetically modifies themselves, so they can heal themselves. They can do a lot of things, and the Federation is like, nah, we don't get down like that because it's fucked up. Like, how can you do all that shit and we can't do it, or whatever weird unethical ways.
That's not really why they do it. They're like, the reason that they're so against it is because at some point they had because what it talks about is all of the attacks and like it's almost like what the LGBTQ community went through. You know what the Jewish people went through. Right, you know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm not saying black people is because the only reason I'm not saying black people is because it's not an enslaved type deal. It's just more like I just don't like you because of who you are type stuff. And so, but the real reason why the Federation doesn't want them is so against them is because at some point they had like a war. There was a war where there were like the people who were augmented against the people that weren't augmented. And it killed, like they said, like 10 million, like what they say, like 10 million people.
Damn. It was like, a whole lot.
It was a whole lot of people that died. So they're afraid, they're very afraid that something like this will happen again. And so they use that as a reason to keep these people down and keep these people out of the thing. And I just wanted to address a comment. Mr. Sir, he said, brought you to tears. Yeah, though, my G. Yeah, it did bring me to tears, because when you think about all of the people that struggle and all of the people that have to go through all of the stuff that people have to go through in a sense, this really spotlights that. It spotlights it in a way that you can really take and disconnect from the show and apply that to reality. And when you apply it to reality, that's where the sadness of it is. It's like we as human beings really are like that. And so, and me, I'm that type of person. Like, that type of shit touches me. You know what I'm saying? And I like, I'll cry, but I'll beat your ass too. So like, so don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, stuff like that touches, and it should touch anybody who has a heart. You know what I mean? So just put that
I agree with you. What they went into in this was the fact that the law does not equal morality. You know, she went into the fact that slaves were at one point in time legitimately held. You know what I'm saying? The fact that, you know, women were legitimately not necessarily given equal rights. Like, she went down this whole list. She's like, yeah, she broke the law. She didn't tell y'all that she was what y'all were discriminating against her for. And the reason is because it's a stupid law. And she went into why. And look, again, I'm just thrilled because Star Trek is started. They get the message. They remember Star Trek was one of the first in terms of on screen to give us diversity. They gave us a your typical Iowan in Captain Kirk, but they met it with Uhura. They met it with Chekhov, Scotty, Sulu. It's a whole bridge full of different cultures. Even though some of them are still white, most of them are still white. But we got the first on-screen kiss because of Uhura. God rest her soul. Oh my God, Michelle Nichols, who's no longer with us. So to see them continue that carrying the torch of just giving us prominent blackness and like really good. And I hope I'm not disrespectful in saying that she looked phenomenal in this role, and just represented. And you can hear her accent now. We know her from American Gods. She had a completely different kind of power in American Gods. So for her to utilize this in this manner, it just goes because she didn't speak a lot in American Gods. So Yetide, we see you and you killed this shit. You killed it. Like there was no phasers, there was no action, not a punch was thrown, but still I was floored based on. And now maybe I'm a little biased because she just followed us on Instagram, but still, it don't matter.
It matters because you're doing the work. God damn it!
And one other thing that I want to spotlight because you brought it up is that the one thing that makes this show so much better than all of the other Star Trek shows is that they literally are focusing on the black characters.
Yes,
like that's the part that like the Doctor and what's it, Mbinga, Dr. Mbinga, they spotlighted him in this episode. They continue to spotlight Uhura and let you know that she just don't play. Like she just don't play. Like somebody tried to come and check her station and she was like, hold up.
Right.
Don't be hold up, sir. Can you back up while I'm doing what I need? And I was like, thank you. Tell that motherfucker, get out of here. Like she was not playing. And Mira, which was the character that what's Nira, her Nira, that was her, that's the character that she played. Like to see a woman just walk and like her walk just commanded confidence and just like this, like I'm like, girl. Man. Absolutely. She was not, man. She was unwavering in this, in her role in this, man. She was like, she could not be deterred.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, just to wrap up this segment right here, like, Star Trek. I blame Paramount and I blame CBS, but Star Trek has been giving us peak black vibes since they reintroduced themselves into the mainstream. Starting with Discovery, giving us Michael Burnham, who they didn't even put directly in the captain's chair at first. Then not only do they give us Michael Burnham, but they give Michael Burnham a black love interest, solid black, all right, in book, all right, even though he's an alien, all right, no worries, he's still black, you know what I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, shit, goddammit, the Martian Manhunter is an alien too. So we love that. They come in, give us dark-skinned Uhura. They come through and make, even in the movie, Spock was dating Uhura. Like, it's a whole thing. So Gene Roddenberry, I think he's happy with the results, but I just want to shout out Yetide for her role in what she did in this Star Trek, because goddamn it, if she did not just make it so that an episode without any action was just as compelling as an episode where they fight the Borg or the Klingons, you did that, little mama. So, you did that, ma'am. You did that, woman.
She did that. She did. She deserves, and I know she's not, because it's not too many people watching Star Trek Strange Worlds. It's very unfortunate because it is one of the best Star Trek shows that has come out, period. And the acting is superb. The cast
and the
is
graphics
superb.
are actually on point for once.
And now there's a looming threat. There's a looming threat that is called the Gorn. Which they're almost like it, and they haven't really shown the Gorn, but they like allude to them, but they almost like some like vampire-ish.
Yes.
They're not trying to do what the Borg did, which was assimilate you. No, they're trying to get rid of you.
They want to eat you.
They want to eat you. Leave
like,
those scraps here. This is.
Let's go back to the days of regular old villains that just want to eat you. You know what I'm saying? They don't have like a whole plan of wanting to. Oh well, the universe is too populated, or we don't need super people. No, it's like no, we hungry in the motherfucker. Goddamn it, and you got flesh, bitch, and I need that flesh in my belly, and that's just how that like that. That's what the fuck it is. It's sometimes good to keep it basic. And the Gorn just want to eat you. I just want to eat you. No kissing. All right, we talk about Star Trek. Calm down. Some of y'all take that. All right. But this is the truth. So your T-Day
vibe.
Yeah, I just want to eat. All right, hold on. This episode, I have sucked it down and I'm eating it now. What am I going to do next? There's going to be some licking coming in here. But your T-Day, yo, we see you. We love you. And one time for you for not only killing it on this role, but also being, I love when somebody who loves sci-fi or loves Star Wars or loves Marvel gets the chance to actually be in the actual franchise. So you, Miss Lady, have actually won the Blurred Award of the Week, which we just made up just for you, of Best Actress in a Star Trek episode ever, at least this season. Congratulations. We'll send you the check, and we'll send you the catch up.
One last thing before we move from this. My hope is that someone from the MCU, from Marvel department, watches this episode and sees how good this woman is. True. And brings her on for something. If you don't, I was the first one to say she was my Storm. That was the first. Like, but at the end of the day, I'll take her as anything in the MCU. Just get this lady more coverage because she deserves it. Oh my gosh, she killed this role, man.
Yes, indeed. 100%, man. And so I guess thanks for coming to our TED Talk. This has been a 15-minute commercial for y'all to watch Star Trek. If you need my login, I'll send it to you. But it's a thing. I want to get into why we don't watch it and all that, but obviously there's reasons. But there's also reasons we don't watch a lot of other things. As it was recently announced this week, there is a Omar, I'm gonna need your help on this. There's a One Piece live action coming into play. Now, One Piece is something I never got into. I'm gonna keep it 100, man. I never did. I tried to watch it. Even my daughter's like, I tried to watch it. She's like, I don't get it. Why they want to be pirates? And I'm still kind of. So explain to me what it is that I'm missing, and then we'll also ask Tiffy what's her feelings on these drawings. These live action casted characters of one last Airbender. If we have time, if not, we'll do it on B-side. But yeah, man, what's going on with this One Piece? Why should I pay attention to this shit? Is it that good, Omar? For real?
One Piece is a really good story. It starts off like in the anime, it starts off all like kind of like, I guess you would kind of say like kind of wacky, cartoony shit. Absolutely. And then before the time skip, and then after the time skip, shit gets so serious. But I mean, all right, if we're talking about like, there's a good meme where it's like Naruto about believing in your friends and keeping bonds. Bleach about standing up for what is right. Haikyuu, volleyball. I just give a fuck about volleyball. One Piece, fuck the government. Fuck everybody in charge. Fuck the authority. All this shit's fucked up around here. We got to liberate ourselves. That's One Piece. That's Monkey D. fucking Luffy. That's Luffy's whole crew. Like, the government is the enemy. And these motherfuckers running down, like, the shit that Luffy's done over these years, man. My man's, there's the Celestials that you can't touch. They're the richest in the world and shit like that. They're the gods, man, punched one in the face. My man shot down a world government flag. Like, this man is man made it a point to make himself an enemy of the state. Not on some... He's not even on some political shit. He's just on some shit like, this is what's right. Like, that flag is oppressing you. Shoot that shit down in front of the government. The fuck y'all gonna do to me? That's One Piece. And you might not get that when you're watching, like, this kid that just wants to be a pirate. But to him, being a pirate means I will be the king of the pirates. To me, king of the pirate means I am the most free. I get to, because you're our pirate. We will be the most free. And even when he's like, we're robbing you because we're pirates, well, it's like, well, no, we were gonna give you that money anyway because you helped us out. Like, he's almost like a vaudevillain in a sense. But it's a lot of episodes. It's a very and it's a lot of story. But like, this is, if you're thinking of like Beowulf, it's like an epic. This is, and I would say this is an epic as well, filled with so many characters and shit like that. And this big journey. But like, it. I mean, if you don't have to muscle through it, but like, it's a big adventure. It is a really big adventure, and the theme is fuck the government. Like,
Really? I mean, is there anything special? I'm not trying to say it's not worth a watch. I don't just watch things with superpowers. I just went into Star Trek. But like, are there superpowers? Is there comic book worthiness, or is it just a story? It feels more like a story.
It's their story, and there's all people have powers. They're called devil fruits. You eat this fruit, and it gives you a power. It's random. There's an encyclopedia on it, and Luffy's power is the gum fruit, which makes him able to stretch. But then you see there's also more to these powers as well. Like there's an awakening part of the powers. There's one dude, Law, who I really love. He has a power called I forget it's the Opie no me fruit. Basically, he can switch from like where you are to where I am. He can switch that. He can switch your arm so that's sticking out your chest. He's a doctor as well. So my man, like, and it's just nasty when you see like, oh wow, this fruit seems limiting. Then you see all this shit that you can be done with it. It's like, oh, this is some disgusting. He can take his heart out of his body, box it somewhere else so he can keep fighting. Like
the fuck
shit is it's crazy. And everybody's got an ability. Some abilities seem like real trash, but I'm like, oh wow, you're using it in a very powerful way. Some seem real powerful, but I'm like, oh wow, you're actually kind of weak against this. So like there's that, but there's also a thing called hockey where it's like, all right, I don't need a devil fruit. My fucking spirit is enough to fuck you up. I can harden my body, fuck you up, or the color of the Conquering King, where just my willpower alone is enough to knock niggas out when I step on the fucking when I step in the scene. Which we saw red-haired Shanks when he was meeting Edward Newgate. He stepped on his boat, two emperors meeting, and red-haired Shanks, who has one arm because he saved Luffy from something, he stepped on the boat, and the boat was breaking around him as he's walking forward. And they're like, what the, like, and people were passing out. And they're like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, my bad. I gotta control myself. But like, just his presence alone is, I could just knock you out. And you can only withstand that if you have a strong willpower. So there's things of that. That's the fighting element of it as well.
Well, Omar clearly has an affinity for One Piece, and Tiffy, you've expressed your affinity for Last Airbender with Aang. Hallelujah. So what's your feelings about these released photos? Are they doing it justice? No? Yes?
I have been surprised by some of the responses to them because I don't think that they look bad. I don't think that they look bad. It looks kind of, in a way, it looks cartoony in a good way. Like throw Aang back up again. To me, that looks like Aang, and I think that I don't know what to say. I mean, I guess the tattoo could kind of look better. Other than that, it's brightly colored. Is that what people aren't liking about it? I think Sokka looks goofy, and even more so when he does. And then you remember that that's the actor. Yeah, look at that goofy face. But he lied about being indigenous, so he's not indigenous at all. He's white. And they did not choose to recast that role. So like already with the controversy and that bullshit, and I can imagine the conversations that are going to surround that, and it sucks. I don't hate it. I don't understand why it's getting hate. It looks like Avatar, The Last Airbender. I don't know what. So I'm willing to rock with it and roll with it. I'll do both of those.
Will you lean with it as well? Will you lean with it as well?
You got too much dip on your chip.
All right.
Damn, we can't yep in my white tea with it, man. We can't. Just rock.
Not with yet. Nah, I'm not willing to put all that behind it, but we'll see as they release more. So I'm excited for it. I love Avatar. I love Avatar content. So I'm willing to. Those pictures. You know what? Yeah, I'm with it.
You're just gonna see the story, okay? Then maybe you'll Kang Wang with it. Then just maybe, just possibly.
Just maybe it has to earn it. I don't think that's promo pictures.
I'm ready. We ready to Nolly? What you think?
My favorite part about sending the pictures in the group chat was Tiffy being like, "I'm not mad at it, but I also did not smile."
Can I just say, y'all in the group chat, sometimes I be staying up late waiting to get revenge. I think y'all forget that I'm the only person on the West Coast. And when one of them texts came in at 4:30 in the morning, I was like, it's midnight for me. I'm wide awake. I can just text the group chat something nice for them to look at right now. Just maybe a little hee hee ha ha to share with my friends. Like
Listen, you don't put your phone. You don't put your phone on sleep mode when you go to bed, Tiffy. Like
sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. Depending on what's going on.
I love y'all, but my phone is always on sleep mode because I know
when I do have it on sleep mode, there are select people's who messages and things will come through, but sometimes I have to take it off and I forget to turn it back on before I fall asleep.
Well,
and so I'm never mad when texts like that come in because I'm just like, oh, I didn't have to do not disturb on, but I'm just like, oh.
Hey, well, if you think that you're gonna fuck up somebody's night by texting some dope shit at 4 a.m, Tiffy, I'd say don't threaten us with a good time because we're here for it. You don't know. I'll be up here like sitting right here in my drawers, like sitting there playing. Oh, Tiffy saying something right now. Let me respond. It's only 3:80. It's only 3:45 in the morning. I'm down, man. Hey, try me. Try me. I told him, like, look, bro. I say Tiffy on the West Coast, so be careful. But look, if you want to go ahead and flip that script, man, go ahead, man. Wake me on
just
up.
Texting it off.
Like, it'll be like immediate too. Like as soon as you say like damn, like oh shit, this motherfucker's up. Shit,
someone just sent me notifications every time someone likes something. I'm just like, oh, group chat. These are talkative niggas I see.
Listen, Tiffy, if you got an iPhone, there's a spot in your iPhone where you can set a certain time. After a certain time, it will automatically preset that shit, and it will automatically just quiet the notifications.
I tried to warn y'all. Just like I'm warning y'all.
I let them send it to the other group chat because I'd be like, let me not bother these new.
Yeah, we got this.
No, bother me. I love it because if you didn't send me stuff, I'd be like, why do they hate me? Why does nobody talk to me?
Well, look, I gotta go ahead and kill this one. Let's talk even more. We still haven't talked about I'm a Virgo. We still haven't talked about some of the other things that we had on slide. So please go ahead and join us in the next few minutes, y'all. I am Virgo Taylor as well as the New Blurs. And please be your authentic self if you're not being fake. And if everything you are fake, go ahead, let that freak. I love
the new blurred order. You should too.